obviously Bo showed a lot of heart, but defensively you guys made a ton of plays, and in a game like that, it feels like you needed every one of them. Just what did you think about the effort from all 11 on defense?
Yeah, I mean, we stepped up huge tonight, but it was kind of cool because we had Bo's back. What he went through last week to get his ankle right, it just shows you what type of kid he is, how tough he is, and we knew he was putting his body on the line, and we had to get his back, and I think that's something we did perfect tonight. We put out the fire whenever there was a turnover. We were able to go out and get the ball back. I think that was crucial. So yeah, it was really fun tonight.
You made some of the plays, tipping some deflections, making some tackles for loss. Just what do you think of your performance and your teammates specifically along the defensive line, just the impact you guys were able to make?
Yeah, we'll start with the batted balls. It's something that we talked about all week. We had to find a way to affect the quarterback. If we weren't getting them sacks, we had to either hit them, get our hands up in the passing lanes, bat down balls. That's something that like I said, we talked about all week. So that was just kind of the game plan coming out, and we were able to execute, which was huge. That's a very good quarterback. He's going to move around. He's going to get out of the pocket. So we got to find ways. If we can't catch him, we got to figure out ways. Get our hands up. And just the whole D line did a great job tonight. We knew their game plan, or they're part of their DNA is running the ball. So we knew that coming into this game, this was going to be big for us up front. We had to stop the run, and make sure they don't get any big gains in between the tackles. I think we did a huge job as a whole position group collectively. And that's just something Coach Tody emphasized all week. This is going to be one in the trenches. This is their type of football, is to run the ball down the middle. So yeah, it was fun to see us come out and execute as a whole D line.
Given what was at stake, Casey, this is probably the biggest game of your career, biggest individual performance of your career. How does that feel to have that kind of an impact and play that well in this biggest spot?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the standard I hold myself to. I'm probably my biggest critic when it comes to how I play, but I was just kind of just out there just doing my thing. It didn't feel any different. We had a game plan to execute, and I was just doing everything the coaches taught me, everything we talked about all week, and games like that are fun when you can see the game plan come out on the field and when you start to be able to execute it.
You talked during the week about how you and Bo have a unique relationship. You probably have a little bit more awareness then, other than the quarterbacks, of exactly how grueling this week was for him. What does this mean to you as a defensive teammate, but a guy who knows exactly what your quarterback just put himself through to make this happen?
Yeah, absolutely. I already had a respect for Bo that was through the roof, but after tonight, he's gained way more respect than I could even have that I knew I could have for someone. Just seeing how he had to go through this week, really get his ankle right. He was rehabbing all week. At first, we didn't know if he was going to be able to. Everyone was kind of preparing for it not to happen, but just for him to come out and it just showed. When you get hurt like that, you almost have to. Your treatment becomes your practice, right? You got to focus everything on getting your ankle right. And it just shows you what type of player he is, how tough he is. And, playing behind a guy like that, it makes it easy because you want to just do it for him.
What does that?
You talked earlier just now about how important it was to stop the rush and stop taking on Thomas. You guys held him to, I think, 65 yards total. Just what do you think you guys did so well in the rushing department that held them?
Yeah, that's like I said earlier. That's just kind of a standard we have for the D line is we want to knock out the run. We knew these guys were going to be physical up front. We knew they were going to come off the ball really hard, but we noticed that when guys play with their technique, they have success against them. So that was something we emphasized all week was we got to play with good technique. We got to use our hands and be sound in our gaps, and that's kind of what we did. We knew they were a big stretch team, so we knew we had to get knocked back. We had to get them. We had to play in their backfield, and that's something that we did huge tonight, along with getting our hands up in the pass lanes. I think 2 tip balls turned into an interception. That's huge. That's affecting the game. So it was just like I said earlier, it was this game plan. It was executing the game plan. It was just all showed out on the field.
Last year,
Bennett took the loss obviously really hard last week and shouldered a lot of the blame for him to come out and get 2 interceptions, 14 tackles tonight. Just what do you think it says about him?
It just shows you what type of person he is. Just like Bo, the emotional losses like that can do a lot of damage to a player. And you can either sit in it, you can go deeper into the water and not show your face, but he did the opposite. He jumped right out of the pool, and he took that loss. He took that, and he focused all week on making himself better, and he has a game like that. So it just shows you what type of players we have on this team, guys who are tough as nails, and can put something like that behind them and come out and execute a game plan like he did tonight.
Last year, this team, Oregon, I know you weren't on the team last year, but it really struggled with 12, 13 personnel. You guys did a really good job of that tonight. How big of a factor was preparing for the 12, 13 personnel this past week?
Yeah, no, big boy. I mean, at least for I can speak for Jordan and I. We're pretty used to playing big boy, like big personnel groups up front. That's something we see a lot in the Big Ten. So for us, for Jordan and I, it was just a common game. But I mean, for those other guys too, I think their technique has gotten a lot better from last year. Keon is playing really hard, playing really well. Dorlis is playing really well. Coach Teodes came in and really implemented his technique, teaching his technique, and you can tell a night and day difference between the game we just played and the game they played last year. It's just huge. Like I said, we noticed that guys were successful when they played with really good technique, and that's what we had to do tonight, and that's what we did. So it was really cool to see everyone come out on the D-line and really play like we knew we could.
Do you think you had probably the best game of Do you think you probably had the best game of the season this year just because of how damn cold it was and that it's kind of brought you back home?
No. I mean, I didn't really pay attention to the cold. I mean, like you said, it's kind of normal for me. So, I think I played my best game because I wanted it really bad tonight. I hold myself to high expectations, and I knew I needed to get something done. So, I had to go out with a chip on my shoulder and play my game.
Thanks.